All right, hey, it's Doug, your realtor here in Utah, and today we're going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about marketing with one of the fastest up and coming digital marketing gurus in the state. And yes, I'm biased because full disclosure, he's my son.
Hey guys.
So this is this is Nathan Tarter, Nate as we know him. Uh, anyway, so we just thought we'd just kind of talk you through a little bit about his business and tell you why that e-commerce, advertising is so important. So we got a couple of questions for you, Nate.
Okay.
So when in your life did you find the love for kind of that marketing that you're doing now?
Funny enough, it takes me back to when, and we can take this out if you'd like, but it takes me back to when you worked at Fort Knox. You were the marketing director there, and Google and Bing were having this competition, and Google launched this website that had Google versus Bing. And you took me to a meeting where you guys were talking about marketing for Fort Knox and a few different things that way. And I sat down to myself and thought, what if Fort Knox had a page like that, where it was Fort Knox versus, and you put it in a competitor, put in something like that. Well, a little bit further down the line, you actually built the website. And I remember 8-year-old, 9-year-old me thought that was the greatest thing I'd ever done in my entire life. And I remember thinking to myself, I love this. I love everything about this. And from a young age, you took me on drives down the freeway. And as we were driving down the freeway, we'd see billboards and you'd be like, hey, what's wrong with this billboard? And you'd kind of quiz me as we went. I think that's where I found my love with marketing. I think I found that the best and most enjoyable part of marketing was building something you love and then being able to see other people's visions and critique it or build on it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember those conversations, and I remember, you know, just I mean, Nate mentioned Fort Knox, so Fort Knox gun safe. So prior to the real estate world, I was in the gun safe industry, and part of that was, with my kids and these guys as they grew up. I remember that same kid, that 8-year-old kid, going to a trade show with me and standing next to me and selling safes and being looking people in the eye and shaking their hands and being able to sell the product. And to me, over the years, I always prided myself on being a very good salesperson. And to be honest, the only one that's ever been able to best me is this guy. And so to me, I don't I kind of don't look at that as a one up, because to me that statement that the father's best wishes are for you to be better than him, and so you're there. So I love it. I love it. So then you've got the kind of that love for marketing and sales and things like that. What made you decide to get into your own business?
It's a good question. Uh, I think it kind of comes from an entrepreneurial spirit that our family has. Um, Speaking same vein that we were just talking about, this guy went and partnered and created his own safe and vault door company called Golden Spike back in the day, and I got to be involved in that. I got to see that. We also have another one of your sons, my brother, built an Amazon agency, and I was able to stand next to him and help that grow and see that grow. Um, Eventually, I got really into marketing and media buying and Facebook ads, especially for e-commerce brands, because of learning from Amazon and learning e-commerce businesses as a whole. Um, I eventually found that I wanted to see myself help other people. I found that specifically, I had a client who had cancer, and this client was struggling to keep his business afloat. It was barely breaking even, let alone paying for his cancer bills, let alone paying for all this other stuff. And this is when I was working at a previous agency. And I remember I had a call with him after about 3 months after I took over his account. And he sat there and thanked me. And he raved and talked about how amazing I was. And I'm not saying this because of who I am or what I've done. I say this because he was able to pay off all of his cancer bills, and to hear that and see that effect made me want to say, I'm going to take control of the situation. I want to help as many people as possible. And working for a different company didn't really give me that opportunity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And to be quite frank, I mean, you've always been really driven, and a lot of times that drive didn't align with the boss's drive.
Yeah.
And so having your own, I think, has been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've done fantastic. But you know, one of the things that Nate just did was something that he and I have talked a lot about. Is you just saw him craft the story, and that's marketing. It's crafting the story, whether that's in one word, 5 words, a paragraph, but it's that creating that story that everybody can relate to, whether that's, heartfelt, whether that's, about cool blinky shoes for the little kid. I mean, whatever, it's always that way. So as you've been in this almost 2 years now, 2 years.
Yep.
And what's really cool is Nate started with a partner, and he's actually bought his partner out, and so it is 100% his. And so as you've moved forward and you're getting ready to kind of launch and stuff like that, just run everybody through real quick the name of the company, where they can find you. We don't, we want to make sure they know where you're at.
Yeah, for sure. Our company's new name will be Avaro Marketing. Our website will be avaromarketing.com. We're going to be rebranding here Thursday. What is that, the 7th? November 7th. Just go to avaromarketing.com. Go ahead and hit get a quote in the top right, and then you'll be able to fill out all of your information there.
All right. So now the next question I had is just, what challenges have you faced? And I know having a partner adds a whole different animal and a whole different set. So we're going to shelf that.
Yep.
So when it comes to the marketing side, what are some of the struggles or challenges that you have getting the marketing done for people?
Oftentimes visions don't align. And I say that not trying to sound egotistical, like my vision is the correct vision, but it really depends on the platform you're marketing on. But a lot of times people will come to me saying, hey, I want to run Facebook ads. And then when you run Facebook ads, it's like, hey, me and my team have a vision for what we're going to create for you. That might not always align, because at the end of the day, they're going to know their business better than we are. And so we have to craft and work together. And that's realistically the biggest challenge for any agency, let alone us.
Right. And I sit there and I look back to, in the real estate world, that way, with selling houses, back to the gun safe world. I remember, matching visions. I had a boss that got hired in the gun safe world. The gun safe world is very Western driven. It's, so it's the pro bull riders, it's the NFR, it's all the rodeos, and it's that kind of clientele for the most part. And we had this new boss came in, and he wanted to shift all the marketing from that Western marketing to make it more like a can of soup, and really kind of made it generic. And that was a disaster. But I'll tell you what, that guy, he had his PhD in, pilot higher and deeper and whatever, but he had no idea what he was doing. Anyway, so then the last question for you, just to kind of tie things up here. What do you enjoy most in your own business, in the marketing world? I'll let you take that wherever you want to go.
It's a good question. I think the thing that I enjoy most, and I think it just comes from my personality, is I like to see analytics. I like to learn what an audience or type of people want to see. Right? For example, we have a medical company that we work with. They sell medical devices, and one of the funnest things is trying to figure out with their specific audience. It's not something we can traditionally target on Facebook. I can't just simply say, hey, I want to find people who want to buy medical devices. I have to find people who might be needing those medical devices. And so we have to craft different types of audiences. We have to find for this medical device, for one of their medical devices, we need to find people who are overweight, who have really high blood pressure and really struggle to keep that under control. And so what we do is we end up targeting people interested in candy, desserts, stuff like that, instead of being able to target directly the audience we're looking for, if that makes sense.
Well, so that's interesting because you're targeting more of the cause than the results.
Yep.
And so, that's kind of like, going and finding somebody that's got 18 speeding tickets and to sell them a Porsche.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Woohoo! But anyway, that's awesome. So again, Avaro Marketing. If you wanted some help, want some insight, can't tell you better guy than this to talk to. He's more than happy to help you. So again, go check out avaromarketing.com on Thursday. You'll see the relaunch, and let's get you selling.